Dr. Kyle Dupuy here, Coding While Black, episode 57. I'm going to call this one, You Gotta Learn the Woosa. Some of y'all may have seen the movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, the original Bad Boys. And they sent Martin Lawrence, I think they sent both of them to therapy. And the therapist had them woo-sign whenever they felt stress. Woosa, woosa, right? And I'm going to call this particular episode, You Got to Learn the Woosa. So let me piggyback on something that's going on in the news right now concerning Rachel Nichols, right, of ESPN. I'm not mad at Rachel Nichols. I can understand where she's coming from in terms of feeling like she's being replaced or her opportunities are being are dwindling. My problem with what she said, by the way, she made disparaging comments about Maria Taylor, an up-and-coming young black woman at ESPN who is shining brightly. And so, I guess it was a year ago, Rachel Nichols made some comments about her and about ESPN, some disparaging remarks, and they were caught on. She was recording, it got sent to ESPN servers, yada, yada, yada. So now it's out, New York Times published the article, whatever. So, she's making these comments, right? And folks are mad at her and what have you, and I understand that side of it too. But what I want to say is, don't be shocked. And don't think it's just going on at ESPN. And what I mean by that is, folks smiling in your face and behind the scenes, they're making disparaging remarks about you, your abilities, your background, your knowledge, your capabilities. The one thing I do take issue with what she said was she acts like Maria Taylor just got that job because those jobs and that she's shining because she's black. When really she's fantastic at what she does. I noticed her when she first started, and she's black. So for ESPN, that's killing two birds with one stone. That's and the same with everyone, right? But other companies. But my point is, don't think that this isn't happening in tech at these tech companies. I've lived it. I'm still living it, where I've thought I was cool with someone and then I hear them make disparaging remarks about me or take disparaging actions. I'll talk about that on a different episode, where they do something behind your back that mars your career or marks you negatively, that could have a bad impact on your career. They make a statement, or they write something, or they go on record with some falsehood or something that is completely wrong and completely untrue that they know is damaging to your career. But when you see them at the company function, they all up in your face, smiling, telling you how great you are. Now, I talk a lot about on this channel about your tech skills and what I think you should focus on, etc. But really, my research, when I really think about it, when I talk about the tech skills and those kinds of things, I'm talking about from my perspective as someone who's been in this field for 30 years, from a career standpoint. But the research really shows that when you get into these careers and into these fields, what you're dealing with, right? And how to deal with those things without being traumatized, without becoming negative, without becoming angry, without becoming disenchanted, right? And so those are skills you absolutely have to learn if you decide to go through this landscape. And that's why I said you got to learn how to woosa, because you can't let these folks get to you with this stuff. It's not worth it. I was reading an article yesterday, or a story yesterday, where folks are talking about, African American women and others who are feeling it a certain type of way being in corporate America, and they just decide to leave. That's certainly an option, and start their own companies, right? And I highly suggest that. Of course, I agree with that. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to stay in corporate America, you absolutely have to learn how to woosa. You have to learn how to control yourself emotionally, how to communicate, how to evolve and enhance your social emotional intelligence. And this is something that took me years to do. The first 10, 15 years of my career, I didn't know how to do it. I was slapping folks, choking folks, cursing folks out. My wife can tell you. And because it's infuriating to be treated a certain way after you've jumped through all the hoops, you've done all the work, you've earned all the education, and now when you walk in the room confidently, that's bothering those who haven't attained or achieved what you've attained or achieved. Okay, so that's difficult to do, which is why I'm pretty sure I've talked about on another episode my practices as far as my spiritual practices, and I'm starting to share those more and more on this channel and with others who I'm mentoring. And these are keys to success as well, and we've for your wellness and your sanity, and we've been using these forever, black folks, right? But now it's time for us to really reclaim it and get back into it, because things like you're hearing starting to hit terms like wellness and mindful meditation and all these are things that Africans have been doing for millennia. Okay, it's not new age or new wave. There's nothing new about it. We need to get back to it. So you got to learn how to Woosa. Take your time. Take your quiet time. Learn how to breathe. There's a book that I'm reading right now that I read several years ago called Breathe. Learn meditation. I'm going through a process right now to be certified in meditation. So if you want to learn that, reach out to me. I'm looking for people to teach. Learn how to do some yoga. You ain't got to be all day, all night. Learn 3 or 4 poses. Follow Russell Simmons. He's teaching it all the time. But you have to learn how to Woosa, and you have to learn how to move and be strategic. Continue to rise and excel while these folks are trying to bring you down, and not let this negativity and these negative vibrations and this energy get to you. It is just as important as any other skill you might acquire in order to be successful in tech. Peace. Dr. Kai Dupuy, Coding While Black, episode 57. Hope that helps.